Okay, so we just got the lights package in for the Sportster S from Kodlin USA. We're gonna sort of discover this whole thing together. I haven't read the instructions yet. I haven't opened the box or anything. We'll just struggle through it at the same time. So these are the Eclipse lights, I think they're called, specifically for the Sportster S. So, I mean, I think it should just be a plug and play thing. So I'm not expecting this install to be too difficult. Boom. Let's open them up. They just attach to these screws here behind the big headlight, and I think I should be able to leave this Thrashin bar bag in the end. The one thing that I really don't like about this bike is the look of these turn signals, so I'm glad that I'm getting rid of them. It's cool, nice packaging. So there's just like a standard connector, and they should just plug and play. So let's, there's no instructions in the box. Oh yes, there are. Never mind. Some hardware, just 2 screws. So it has the wiring schematic on here in case you're doing something custom, but I don't think that we're going to need to do any of that. It's telling us like black is ground, yellow is for the turn, and the white wires for the running, and it tells you what pin it's in, which is nice. So you can build your own wiring harness for something custom that you're doing. Like if you have if you've got a headlight with built-in turn signals that you need to wire in as well, then you'd be able to do that. I mean, you don't really need the wiring schematic to do that, but it's nice that it's included. Cool. So I'm going to grab some tools and we will jump cut to the removal of these guys. Okay, so I've got T25, and that's going to take this guy off. I'm actually going to take this bar bag off for the install. I'm going to take this apart and see if the quick connector's in here. Otherwise, we'll have to find it somewhere. Okay. So we're going to have to follow this wire. Yank that zip tie out of there. The old wire was attached to one of these little frame plug zip ties. So you can either replace that afterwards or just zip it some other way. Okay, so there's a piece of body panel on this side that needs to come off, and there's a Torx There's a Torx bit in there, so I'm gonna grab a long one. Luckily I have this, sorry for my head. So that's a long, I don't know, T25, a long T25. Just be careful not to mess up the USB port. Where, I believe, it's on the other side. All right, we're back on the other side now. This is why we do things the long way, right? I believe this is our turn signal. I don't know where the other one is. Okay, so we got this off, and I guess we'll kind of want to test the, I'll just do the right side first, and then we can worry about, routing the wire afterwards. So these are directional, just be careful that, like, it's pretty obvious which way it goes, but just make sure that you're using the right side, or else it's going to be like weirdly upside down. And these are a shorter cable, so I think that they're designed to be routed like a more sane way, I think, than the stock ones were. T30. The hardware provided is hex 5mm. So I would recommend doing these lights one at a time, because the headlight's going to come loose if you take both of them off, and that's the reason why why I was kind of struggling to get that screw threaded, and that's because the headlight is just hanging down a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to tighten that right down yet. I am, however, going to plug it in. Cool, right turn signal works. So before I go ahead and tighten this down, I'm going to use some quick detailer to remove the marks from the previous light. Just this stuff. Nice, I was worried that that wasn't going to completely come off, but it did. Okay. I'm gonna do this last little bit by hand, just to make sure that the light stays level. Now I'm going to take the other turn signal off. Before we I'll do a little bit of a closer view when we do the cable routing and the zip tying and stuff at the end, but right now I'm going to remove the other light and we can fish the other connector through. When you're using these ratchets, just make sure that you crack the bolt loose before you turn it on. It's just a good habit. That was way easier. So this one's gone now. Okay, we're gonna plug this one in, and then we'll do a quick test before we clean up. We're plugged in. Bike is on, lights are on, left turn signal, right turn signal. Perfect, everything works. Let's go through, do the cable routing, and then some cleanup. All right, so we've got our cable here. What I think I'm gonna do is just zip it to here. All right, so we're just gonna plug this back in. Sorry, I can't get a good shot at the same time. Okay, so here's the cable. We could probably just stuff it in here, but in fact, I think that's just what I'm gonna do instead of zip tying it. Cool, so there's enough area in there to just stick that in there, and now we can't see it at all. All this extra stuff here is wire for my GoPro. Okay, let's go to the other side. This side, I might, what do you think here? If I can zip to, like a piece. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna zip tie it to this bar up here, just so that we can get this cable tucked out of the way. All right, we're tucked. That was a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna cinch that down too tight. All right, the focus changed there, but there was a small hole in a piece of metal up here that I was able to get a zip tie through, and that sort of just like prevents the cable from showing up across here. I'm routing it across the top of this triple clamp, zip tying it, and then it's gonna sneak down the side there. Cool, so these side plates are a little bit tricky in that they are attached to each other. So the one on this side just goes in, there's some tabs on the frame that it sneaks into. There we go. And now we're just gonna attach these back together. Important tidbit is that the screw holding them together is this coarse threaded screw. So if you lose track, just make sure that you're using the coarse threaded one. And the reason for that is because the coarse threads they use when you're screwing into plastic. Required me to do a little bit of work to get them to line up from both sides, but I think we're in now. All right, so we got the running lights. They, on camera, they look a little bit blue, but they're not blue in real life. Right turn signal, left turn signal, hazards. Perfect. So that was a pretty easy install. The cable routing was easy. Removing the old turn signals was fairly easy. Yeah, I think anybody could do this. So, and I think the look is good. I'm gonna do another quick shot where I put my bag back on, and then we'll call this one. Cool. And with the bag, it still looks good. You can still see the lights. And we don't have those ugly rocket ship turn signals pointing at the sides. Awesome. So yeah, we'll I'll keep posting more videos as we think of stuff to do to this thing, and thanks for watching.